Hello, ladies and gentlemen from around the world. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Global Talkative Series, a global platform to hang out, collaborate, and inspire one another. And we have been blessed on this show to have amazing and wonderful guests, talents all around the world coming on this show to share their wealth of experience with us on this platform. And today's one an exception. We have an amazing guest in the house, all the way from motherland, Africa, Nigeria. My brother, one of my inspiration, and someone very dear to every individual, especially in terms of creativity, arts. And like we do it on this show, I'm going to bring him in into the Instagram platform because we're reaching you now from Calgary, Alberta Global Technology Series Studios, and we're coming to you Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube Live. So I'm going to bring him in into Instagram and then so that I can join the conversation. Thank you for those who are joining already. We appreciate you. Blampy join, thank you. Omodibo Lua from Layo, thank you. And other individuals who are joining from around the world, we appreciate you. We're expecting our guests to join us on Instagram, and then we'll go full fledged into today's live chats. It promised to be an exciting and wonderful episode. Our guest will be coming in right away into the studio. Okay, that's wonderful. Uh, our guest today for our live chat today is no other person than Dayo Adedayo, a photographer and a visual artist. Now, to me, he is more than just a photographer because, in this day and age, with the mobile phone, everybody's a photographer. But when you see the finished product and the creativity behind the work, then you will know that photography is not just taking out your phone and snapping. It is an art. It's a creative process, and that is why our guest today is just—it's not just a photographer, but and a photographer extraordinaire. And like we do it on this show, I'm going to read the profile of our guest to you so that you can connect with him by the time we start asking questions. So here goes the profile of our guest, Dayo Adedayo. He had a national diploma in photography from the Westminster College in Battersea, London, United Kingdom, before proceeding to the University of Westminster, also in the United Kingdom, to study photography art. Following his discovered path, Dayo worked as a freelance photographer with Ovation International from 2002 to 2007, and has, to his credit, the opportunity of being the hand behind the lenses for the magazine's best-selling edition captioned "See Dubai and Die" in 2003. This edition has been attributed to the opening up of Dubai as a tourist destination to Nigerians and other African individuals. Also, between 2005 and 2007, it was the official photographer for Nigeria, the Art of Africa, a project that predicated a lot of traveling all around the world, exhibiting Nigeria to the world in pictures. Within this period, with the introduction of the e-passport, Adedayo's picture were watermarked on the pages of the Nigerian passport, an honor it considered as the highest honor that could be bestowed on an artist, and one that will live beyond him. His work is also on the 100 naira notes, the Nigerian currency produced in 2014 to mark the 100 years of Nigeria. He was also the official photographer to the federal government of Nigeria for the centenary celebration. In 2010, he published his first book titled Nigeria, a pictorial and informative compendium on Nigeria. This was immediately followed with another pictorial survey titled Lagos State, the Center of Excellence. The books were the bestsellers and caused quite a stir for both the extensive research and quality of production, but also because as it was the first of its kind to be published in the country by a Nigerian. Dayo Adedayo has been quite busy since then and has involved in a number of projects. In 2012, he was the member of the Nigerian Board of Technical Education charged to look into setting up of photography as a course in Nigerian polytechnics. He is now an external examiner at Auchi Polytechnic, a centenary edition of Monopoly Nigeria, by Batsman Games released into the market in 2014 has 98% of the pictures from Adidas archives. So also are all the pictures on display at the residential wing of Nnamdi International Airport, Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our guest, Dayo Adedayo. Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm very well. Thank you for having me on your program. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is a quite an impressive resume. Tell us
Thank you.
about this, the achievement, having your pictures as a watermark on Nigerian notes.
Gosh, I don't know where to start, but all I will say is it was a great honor by my country. And like I used to tell people, there is nothing that I owe Nigeria now more than my time and energy. Um, it was the best when it happened in 2014. And to crown it all, I was the official photographer for a whole year around the country during the centenary celebration. It was actually to mark the 100 years of the creation of Nigeria and the first digital currency in the world.
Wow.
That's the second one after the Nigerian passports, the watermark images on the Nigerian passport. So wherever you are in the world today, you carry my work once you are outside Nigeria, because without the passports, if you call
Yeah,
yourself a Nigerian, there's no way anybody will know you as a Nigerian.
that is amazing. That is why I said at the beginning that this day and age, mobile phone has turned everybody to an everyday photographer. But like I said, that the creative process is what defines a photographer than just a mere picture phone lovers. Not I have nothing against those who take pictures for fun, but to appreciate the amazing work of our speaker today, I want to take you behind the scene to show you some of his amazing works. Like, tell us about this picture.
This is her home cave in Enugu State. It's one of the seven wonders of Nigeria. And to be quite honest with you, Nigeria is one of the best kept secrets in the world in terms of everything. Your return on investment in Nigeria can never be compared to any other country in the world. The the amazing things in this country, you hardly find them anywhere else in the world. But this is a wonderful place to visit. At the end of the cave is a waterfall,
Wow.
majestic, brilliant, and I don't have the right adjective to qualify it. And in the Enugu State is the southeastern part of Nigeria, and there are lots of caves in the southeastern part of Nigeria. I don't know the kind of geological force that is going on around that area, but it's a brilliant place to visit.
Well, for our audience on Instagram, I want to apologize to you that you can't get to see these pictures because, like I said, we are broadcasting from our studio live on Facebook and YouTube. So you might not be able to see the pictures that our guest is describing. But after the show, you can just go on straight to my YouTube channel, or the Facebook. You can get to see the pictures. But I'm still going to give our audience the benefit of seeing more pictures as we progressed in our discussion today. Now, coming to the discussion of today, the topic of our discussion today is the sleeping giant, potential of a dying continent. Now, it has been said that Africa is blessed with abundance of resources, with a lot of beautiful things. Part of which you just explained. Amazing pictorial landscape in Nigeria, and we have some amazing places. Zambezi, all those Sahara Desert, Nakuru, all those beautiful, amazing places. The question I have for you for the first time, the first question is that Africa is one of the most populated continents with a population of about 1.3 billion, blessed with all natural resources. Yet, the one least developed. In your view, why is this so?
Uh, Two things actually. One is colonization. Three things, not two. One is colonization, the second is colonization, and the third is colonization.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why
and
did why do you, why do you say the same thing three times?
because it is our major problem, and unfortunately, because Africa has not been left to evolve, I will move Africa into Nigeria that I know very well. because
Good.
I can't talk of when you say Africa, over 40 countries in Africa. So there is no way I'll be an expert in all these things. But
Good.
Nigeria, I can gladly say
As a case
to
point.
a greater extent, I can be an expert on Nigerian case. And our cases are just similar across the continent. For example, in Nigeria, you log up several nations to make a country. If I take Nigeria out and I go to the United Kingdom or Great Britain, you have the Welsh, the Scottish, and the English. Even though they say they are United Kingdom, they
Mm.
still have their own identity. Same
Wow.
problems arises in Africa where you can't say, oh, you are Yoruba, you are Igbo, or you are Hausa, you are Kanuri, you are Tiv. I mean, if you go into the Scandinavian countries in Europe, you see some countries less than 1 million people, and
Yeah.
they're still a country. They are functional. Why?
Mm.
The same language, and once you have a language, your culture will be similar to each other, you
Yeah.
know? So that was the main reason why I said colonization, because what colonization did for us was to decimate us, taking the best and the strongest out of us.
Mm.
Because, intertribal wars here and there, slavery, so selling us into the Americas, and started with the Arabs. And then again, religion now came, forgetting our own religion and now putting on another person's garment, either Islamic or Christianity. Everything still boils down to colonization,
Mm.
because without colonization, we might not be where we are today, but we won't be this bad. Because if you go to the villages in Nigeria, and that is why I'm limiting myself to Nigeria instead of going global to say Africa. If you
Yeah.
go down to the villages in Nigeria, you will find out that they are a lot saner and better than most of us that live in the major cities in Nigeria, say Kano, Lagos, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, and the major cities you can find in Nigeria. In the village, things are still the way it has been. You
Yeah.
do not find the rush, the pettiness,
The rat
the
race.
inordinate ambition of acquiring so much that you don't need. And
Mm.
to worsen the matter, the West will say corruption is killing Africa.
Mm.
And when you say corruption is killing Africa, I usually laugh because as I'm a Yoruba man from a Yoruba nation in Nigeria, and I'll be a Yoruba before becoming a Nigerian.
Yeah.
There is no word for corruption in Yoruba.
Mm.
And if you can't find a word in your language, that means that thing is foreign to you.
Yeah.
So all the riches of Africa that are being taken by Africans are taken into the West.
Mm.
And the West do not return them, but they will say we are corrupt. But all the money stays in their vault.
Yeah.
So who is more corrupt?
Mm.
Like Yoruba will say, any big ilaja, any tó fi sọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, àwọn méjèèjì ló lè. The
Really, yeah.
person that steals and the person that kept it, both of them are
Mm.
thieves. There is
Mm.
a word for thief.
Absolutely.
There is a word for stealing, but
Yeah.
there is no word for corruption.
Mm.
You can express it because in Yoruba land, when someone do you a favor, one way or the other, you give a kola to say
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
That's not
Appreciation.
corruption.
Mm.
And we were not like that before. We were not. So the West cannot tell me to my face that we are corrupt, and that is where we're not developing. Where is all the corruption money going into? Or do you see any foreign leader putting their money into our banks in Nigeria or the rest of Africa?
That is not true.
Absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
So for me, if you look at the whole thing, because you have to look at it holistically, the same problem you have in Southern Africa is the same problem you have in Central Africa, is the same problem you have in West Africa, Sub-Saharan African country generally. And why? Because the West has always been using us against each other. Before now, during the 60s and 70s, when you have the two main blocks in the world, the East and West,
Yeah.
You know, the Russian bloc and the American blocs. You know, once a president is tilting towards one side, if the CIA doesn't get you, the Americans, the Russians will get you out of the place. Why? Because of their own personal interest.
Mm.
And because we do not have a media that can propagate all these things, I mean, up to tomorrow, excuse me, please, up to
Bless you.
tomorrow, you still don't have a media that can propagate the news on Nigeria or the rest of Africa as the BBC of this world, the CNN of this world,
Yeah.
or Al Jazeera of
Europe
this
as
world.
well. Yes.
You know, until when we start having that to tell our own stories. Because the truth of the matter is, you can't know my house more than I do.
Yeah.
There are better things in Nigeria. There are far more better things in Africa than the rest of the world. But why? Nobody is saying anything.
The story.
We are not projecting it. Are
Mm.
we the most corrupt as they put us? The answer is no. Are we the most fraudulent as they put us? The answer is no.
Mm.
I feel more safer and comfortable on the street of Lagos than being on the street of London.
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
Mm.
And we are very forgiving. If
Mm.
not, no disrespect to the Jews. And in life, I mean, in the Quran, they will say you kill someone, it's like killing a nation or generation.
Yeah.
How many millions of Jews were killed during the Second World War compared to the numbers of slaves that were taken out of Africa that died? And up to
Yeah.
tomorrow, America is still paying reparation to
Jews.
the state of Israel.
Why not
I mean,
Africa?
look at what, not a penny to Africa. Nobody cares about us because we don't care about ourselves.
Mm.
That's just the truth. We don't care about ourselves. It's all down to colonialism. If you are selling rice and a white man is selling rice next to you, the blacks rather go to the white man than come to the black man. It's still down to colonialism because our brain has been tuned to believe the white is better than black.
Mm. That is amazing.
Unfortunately, what colonialism brought for us, which is the Bible, the religion, and the Quran, is we are all the sons and daughters of Abraham.
Mm.
So if so, why should one be better than the other? It's all economics. Like President Trump is doing in America, make America great. Until African leaders come out to make Africa great, nobody is going to do it for us because Europeans built Europe, Americans built America, Africans are meant to build Africa. And if we can't do it, nobody else is going to do it for us.
That is amazing. Now, while you're talking, you mentioned some key important things. Colonialism has been a major issue in your own estimation that is affecting, our continent, with a focus on Nigeria and other part of Africa. Now, you mentioned something about telling our stories, projecting our views, because they say that charity begins from home. If you don't tell people your story or you don't tell them who you are, if they ask you what is your name and you are dumb, you can't say anything, they have the right to call you whatever they want to call you because they ask you what is your name and you're just looking at them. Now, why you mention leadership, I have a question because leadership in Africa seems to be a major issue. It has been said that everything rises and falls on leadership. What's your view on this and where do we go from here? What's your view on leadership? Is it because of bad leadership that we have or we've been handed down by the colonialists or our current leadership structure? There's some problem fundamentally wrong. What do you think?
Um, Unfortunately, I don't belong to that school of thought again. There is nothing wrong with our leadership. Our major challenges are with the followers because leadership comes out of followers.
Yeah.
It's what we present. It's okay for you to point a finger at someone, but the remaining four is pointing back at you. That is what the Yoruba people say. So it is the easiest thing for people to do is to criticize you. And you will look like a dump that you have not achieved anything in your life. You just to say, oh, Lanny, what have you achieved? You will struggle to answer. So there is nothing wrong with leadership. It's followership that is the major challenge. Because what happens, the few of us say, I will go back to Nigeria as well, because I don't know much about the rest of the other continent.
Absolutely.
The few of us that are lucky to have education, we love to sit back in the comfort of our homes and be watching the news. What is going on? What are they doing? They don't want to join politics. And that is why you see someone with a first class working for someone with a second class. The second class is working for someone with a third class. The third
Mm.
class is working for someone with a pass. And the one that failed are the ones that goes into politics, controlling everybody. These
Wow.
are the people that will formulate policies that determines whether your show is coming on live or your show should not be even shown at all. That is our major challenge in Africa. And for me, the only way we can change that is for a mass participation of good men and women to join politics. In Nigeria, we talk too much. Talk is cheap. Everybody will say, oh, this should be that, that should be that, But tell them, give them an opportunity to be there. They will mess up woefully
Mm.
until we have a mass of people going into politics, not to form another party. That is not going to work. That is
Yeah.
the truth.
We have so
You
many
have,
already.
for Nigeria, that I know, you have to join either of the two main political parties, which is the PDP or APC. If you are forming another party, you are just wasting your time, your energy, and money, or probably because you are looking at something, a bargaining chip for them for one of the two political parties to recognize you. But to make changes and forget about leadership, because leadership is not from outer space. They are one of us.
Yeah.
And if the followers are right, certainly we will get a very good leader. In the absence of good followers, leadership is not going to come. So leadership has got nothing to do with our major challenge. It is we, because uh, that is what brought about me doing what I'm doing in photography. I
Mm.
can't keep complaining, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. And God has given me a talent for me to show the rest of the world that no, this is not my country.
Mm.
Up until 15, 20 years ago, if you Google Nigeria, okay, there was no Google then, but if you go on the internet to search for images on Nigeria, you will hardly see any
And
good
it's beautiful.
images. All you see just
Poverty.
poverty, war. And people just take that as the gospel truth. Some ignorant, let me put it that way, Europeans or Americans still believe that people live on trees in Africa.
Mm.
They don't even believe. I'm talking to you in Canada now. I'm sitting in the comfort of my house. Same technology that you have is what we're using in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah.
And our banking system, I tell people, our banking system in Nigeria is 1,000 times better than your banking system in America and Europe. So
Mm.
don't tell me what you don't know. And the followership should just be right. Without the right followership, forget about leadership. That is my take on it. So I don't believe in leadership being a major problem in Africa, because if things are not right, then we, the populace, should be able to say, no, this is not right. Let's do it that way. And if you say people rig election, you can only rig election where you are popular. If you are
Mm.
not popular, there is no way on that you'll be able to rig the election. So I hope and pray, because my generation that are in charge at the moment, I think we are not getting it right. My prayer is for my children to see a better country and a better continent.
That's amazing. Now you mentioned about followership. That of course, leadership comes out of followership. Agreed.
That's right.
But among the followership, we have a lot of major issues: poverty, poor education, and are top issues facing continent of Africa, countries. You can see different countries in Africa with issues of poverty, poor education, you know, substandard way of living. So, what strategies do you think can be adopted to deal with this issue? Because, if I'm healthy, if I'm okay, if I'm well, if I'm not hungry, if I have good education, access to good road and water, I'll be able to go out. I want to do something. But if we have this bulk of challenges within the followers, how do we change this? What can we do to address issue of this poverty, ill health, lack of education among the followerships?
It still boils down to colonialism too, because it is very easy for the West to say we are corrupt in Africa. But look at it this way. Nigerian trains you, Larry Ajayi, on subsidy. If you have to pay your school fees, I doubt whether you'll be able to go to school. Then the next thing, Canada gave you visa to come and live in Canada. Who is corrupt? And that is what they're doing to Africa. They take the best out of us and leave us with the dredge of the society. And it's okay for people to be abroad and say Africa is a shithole without looking at themselves. What have they given back to the country? The numbers of doctors trained in Nigeria, the numbers of doctors working outside Nigeria are much more than the doctors trained in Nigeria. I know how much they pay in the US to become a medical doctor. And they have to pay back the debt. Ask Nigerian doctors, how much debt are they paying back to the government? So for me, the way going forward is for the few of us who are lucky. I would say we are lucky because it's not that we're brilliant than the next door neighbor who is not opportune to have that kind of opportunities that we had. It's for the rest of us to join partisan politics. Without us joining partisan politics, it's absolutely impossible for any breakthrough to happen in Africa. Any little thing, just take your second passport and run now. But if you're not, if you're educated, because no developed country or no developed society will give a visa to an Agbero. How? It's not possible. So who is more corrupt here? I mean, thank God for coronavirus. Most of us are stuck in the country now. Imagine if coronavirus is not a global thing, it's just a Nigerian thing or it's an African thing.
That's going to be
I can bet my life everybody would have left this country. So the first thing the developed countries should do is to say it's not visible, it's not possible, because if they do it, it's going to affect the economy seriously. It's just like taking out the medical practitioners, Nigerian medical practitioners, out of the National Health Service in the UK. It will collapse within 10 hours. I mean, there was an incident that happened in Lagos about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, last month, to be precise, where a chartered plane was to take some Nigerian doctors to the UK. Only 2 of them had visas. The rest, the visas were promised to be given on arrival.
Wow.
Imagine, and such country will now come and say Nigeria is corrupt. We need to put things into perspective and change our narratives completely. And we need to put all these things into the mainstream industry, into the mainstream media. Otherwise, when someone starts calling you a fool and you are not refuting it, and you are not a fool, people will believe you are a fool. And that is what is happening. So in terms of followership, changing leadership, you can't change without being part of it. And to come back to Nigeria again, that is why you see both parties, both PDP and APC, bringing in technocrats, in quotes. Why? Because the people that are in these political parties are not qualified. They do not have the qualification to be in these positions. And that is the more reason why the few of us that are lucky should be in partisan politics. Yoruba will say, I see Beni, I bow Odasi.
Yes.
If they are not there, there's no
You're
way
not
you'll
part of
be
it.
part of it.
Yeah.
So until we join partisan politics, things are getting a lot better. Gone are the days when it would be rowdy, killings here and there. No, those days are gone forever. Things are getting clearer and clearer. It's no good one or two people joining. It has to be a mass thing that, it will be difficult for them to manipulate the system. But if you don't do that, nothing is going to happen. Everybody will just be in their homes and be watching. And you will pass through, and the society will not remember you for anything.
That is amazing. Thank you very much. This is still the Global Talkative Series with our amazing guest today by the name of Dayo Adedayo, a photographer with an excellence and also a visual artist. And our today's topic is the sleeping giant, potential of a dying continent. And our focus is more to the western part of Africa, with a special focus on Nigeria because our guest is a Nigerian. That is why he's taking some of his examples based on the understanding he has about Nigeria. Now, still talking about the potential that we could have or we have in Africa. Is there, in your own view, is there a model country in Africa that each of our countries can learn from? Is there any model country? Because to African person, whether you or in school, you ask them, where do you want to go? They want to travel abroad. At some point, it's a dream that everybody wants. Oh, I want to go abroad because everybody believes that once I'm abroad, everything will be okay. But I can tell you that it is not 100% true because I live in Canada and we don't have money on the road on the street of Canada. Unlike how people used to portray, when you go abroad, everything is going to be your problems are over. So I can say it would prove that you don't have money all around. So in your view, is there a model country in Africa that we can learn from each other?
Yes. 3 countries
Okay.
in Africa that we can learn from. One is the western region of Nigeria between 1958 and 1966. Second is the eastern province of Nigeria between 1958 to 1966. And thirdly is the northern region of Nigeria between 1958 to 1966 before the military took over. Why so? Very good question. The western region of Nigeria could have been a lot better than Singapore of today. Why? There were so many firsts done by our nationalists then, the founders of this independence that we got in 1960, October 1st, 1960, namely Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Chief Esther Akintola, that the media have destroyed so much, which he did a lot, and the likes of them, of the First Republic. We had television in Nigeria before France, before Ireland, just 7 years after the United Kingdom.
Wow.
We have the first Liberty Stadium in Africa. We had several industrial areas, reservation areas, and our civil service system was adjudged to be the best in the Commonwealth countries. Not just that alone, the University College Ibadan, then the royal families of Saudi Arabia used to come to UCH Ibadan.
Wow.
For medical facilities. So why do we have to look outside when we have a model that was working before? Not just that alone. Because I've covered Nigeria extensively and the western part of Nigeria, I have it on my fingertips. Most of those roads built between 1958, because there was self-governance. There was like a kind of darky before the independence where we were ruling ourselves before October 1st. 1960, those roads built by the Action Group, the majority party in the parliament then, most of those roads are still surviving till today, even though they are single lane roads, but they still survive till today. I mean, look at the West, the rate we got our education, free education, and where did they get the money from? Tax. You know, you just have to pay your tax, and people can see what they're doing with their money. So I don't need to go outside Nigeria to go and look for a model anywhere else. You know, several countries have been to Nigeria to get one agricultural produce or the other to go and develop theirs. You know, so for me, we need to go back to the parliamentary system in Nigeria. It's a personal opinion, because if we had been on that parliamentary system, all the presidents that we had in Nigeria, contemporary president, there is no way on earth they will have come out of the party to represent them. It's absolutely impossible. Because in parliament, you have to be an orator.
Yeah.
You have to be ready with your statistics, because the opposition will demolish you. And no party will present someone that will not be able to represent the interests of the party. Number two, you can never become a minister if you haven't won election. So what we are practicing in Nigeria today is a lot expensive. I would love to meet former President Olusegun Obasanjo to ask him why they changed, it changed from the parliamentary system in 1979 to the presidential system of America, because that is a winner takes all. And do we have the resources to support all these things today? The answer is no. We don't have it. So for us to go forward, I will go back again to the followership. We must join partisan politics. And we don't have to go to anywhere to look for any country, because it has worked in Nigeria. All that needed to be done is for them to just sit down and have a sense of purpose, sense of history, to say, hey, nobody is going to leave this planet alive. We're all going to die. That is the only thing that is certain in this world. It's not certain that you will be rich. It's not certain that you'll be famous, but it is certain you are going to die. So if you are going to die, what will history say about you? That is my major concern. What will history say about you? Because we have children. Our children are going to give birth, you know, and, you know, it goes on. You can't mention some names in Nigeria today. Tafawa Balewa, who had less than 5 naira in his account. Saldana, who had less than 10 naira in his account when he was killed. Until tomorrow, people are still respecting them. Now go back to the people who were rich in their days. How many people remember them today?
A good name is rather better than wealth. A good name.
The good name can only come out when good people are in the polity. You know, if good people are running away, oh, no, I don't want to die. When will you not die? No, I don't want anybody to do this, do that. Then nothing is going to work. So you live an Agbero to determine your life. And that is what we are getting today. But I don't want to dwell too much into analysis of what is happening, what is not happening. To me, Nigeria is the best country in the world. And I want people to come visit Nigeria with an open mind. And it would be nice for you to get a non-Nigerian living in Nigeria, asking him about his or her opinions on Nigeria before coming and after coming into Nigeria. You see, because when you are playing a game, it's the spectators that will see what you are doing, not you that is inside the game.
Yes.
And that is what is happening to us Nigerians. We go abroad with nothing, zero accounts. And you start from the scratch, either as kitchen porter, taxi driver, any job to survive, till you build and build and build and build upon it. You know, most of us have done it before. But why can't you do it back home in Nigeria? You see white folks in America sleeping on the street. with a blue passport and you with a green passport is living your life.
mm,
It's all about perception and what you see. And if
mm.
we continue to say Nigeria is bad, your thinking will be bad,
Yeah,
your thinking will be negative, and you will not see anything positive in Nigeria. That's the
that is
way I see it.
that is amazing. I've never seen this in this view, in this explain better. That Nigeria, there once a country called Nigeria. If we can go back to that model, whether it's going to work or not. And that leads me to the next question. Based on your explanation of the this word saying that the good old days, is there a hope? Is there any form of hope for Nigeria or an African state to go back to those days when things are working? Like you mentioned, the roads are still working. I've been privileged to travel to some remote areas in the western part on those states, Ilawe, Ogotun. Those roads are tiny and they are well paved. That if you are driving, you have to wait for the other car to go, and they're still perfect. I've seen that. So, is there hope for us to get? Is there any form of ray of hope that we can go back to that way of life? Because I remember I
Uh,
have an uncle. Sorry to cut you, sir. I have an uncle that was at the University of Ibadan at some point. He said this to me. That back then at the University of Ibadan, that before their graduation, jobs are waiting for them, cars are waiting for them. But this day and age, I finished from Obafemi University Ilefe, OAU. Nothing was waiting for me. Nothing was waiting for me. So is there no form of hope that we can get back to that life?
uh, Without hope, nobody will live. Uh, like I said earlier on, Nigeria is the world best kept secret.
Hmm.
We don't have light. Engineers, whatever innovators provide light. You make your money, you make your name. We don't have roads. What are you doing? Provide it. You make your money, you walk away. We don't have water. Provide water, drinkable water, even though we're surrounded with water. Provide all these things and you make your money. There isn't enough food. Go into farming and you make your money. There is hope. And I believe strongly, I believe strongly that there is a better tomorrow.
Hmm.
Why? Because if you look back in the old days as well and compare it to what is happening in the entertainment industry in Nigeria today, Nigeria has taken all over the world,
Yeah.
right? So what we need to do is because entertainment is universal, it's like food. If it is tasty, there is nothing. Food is food, is good is good.
Yeah.
Same thing to entertainment, literary stuff. If it is good, it's good. So what are we waiting for? Another statistics is Nigeria has the highest number of PhD holders in the world. They are the
Yes.
most educated people in the United States of America.
That's right.
So what are they doing with the education? Just to complain and mouth their country? This is the time for good people to come back home, good men and women, because you went to America when America was okay. Can anybody travel to America in the 90s when they had the Great Depression?
No
The
way.
answer is no. So this is the time for you to make your mark, for history to remember you. The hope in Nigeria, let me put it, the opportunities in Nigeria are enormous.
Hmm.
Why? Because we are in a state where nothing is working, and any little thing that you do will be seen.
Yeah.
Look at it this way: 200 million people. And I will just break it down for you. If you are selling a product at 15 naira, which is next to nothing, to 10,000 people daily,
That's
Larry,
huge.
If they give you to the key to White House, you will throw it into the Atlantic Ocean that you don't need it.
Mm.
But what is happening, the few of us that are lucky to go abroad and see the lights and the whatever they are seeing, my take on it is when you are 60, when you are retired and tired, we used to be carrying your bag to go to Walmart or go to Sainsbury's or Tesco. You know, whereas in Nigeria, you know, because by then you've expended your youth, you know, energy. And according to biology, the younger ones are meant to be better than the older ones because their brain is working.
It's sharp. It's still
Now,
working.
I mean, look at what we are talking, we are seeing ourselves lives. You cannot do this 25 years ago.
No way.
You'll be paying a fortune
to get it
to
done.
go to the BBC of this world or NTA. NTA was the only communication company then or television station that can do this. And it will be breaking, you will be seeing lines. So that shows that the ones that are coming behind are going to be better. There is a better tomorrow in Nigeria. I have no doubt in my mind that this country is going to be great. People will be begging, lining up at our embassies to come to Nigeria. That is so. Because I've been opportuned to travel the vast land of this country, nearly 924,000 square kilometers. Wow. From the dense forest of the South to the savanna of the Middle Belt to the arid region of the far north. Everywhere you call Sambisa Forest today, Lake Shad, these are areas that I play, take pictures, and just wander around. And we're talking about less than 10 years ago. Not too far away, just less than 10 years ago. There will always be challenges in our lives. Even personally, there are challenges. So when it happens, do you kill yourself or you face your challenges and move on with life? It's part of being a nation. And in another 100 years, whoever is at the ends of affairs in Nigeria today that cannot fix those things will be a footnote in the history of the country. That is the way that is the way I see Nigeria, because as it is today, 200 million people, we're still all wearing clothes, we're still all eating, we're driving cars, I'm wearing glasses. Only God knows the numbers of parts that these glasses has. Imagine someone producing just the glass to millions and millions of people. What will come out of it? You know, so we need to break things. So we need philosophers as leaders, as kings that can see 100, 200 years ahead of them to say, oh, wow, we can celebrate rainfall. Larry, rainfall. We can turn it into a festival. It all depends on packaging. Because there are several countries in the world today that do not have the amount of rainfall that we have in the Niger Delta.
Exactly.
And true. When it is raining, and you don't get to see that anywhere in the world. It can be turned to something else.
Yeah.
Our food from the south, up north, east, west, fantastic. But we are all happy to go to Chinese restaurant or any foreign restaurant to go and eat without knowing what is going on. So personally, I don't complain. I see challenges as opportunities. You know, I mean, when I started doing my photography work, how many people were doing it really? Because a lot of people tend to believe in money today.
Yeah.
And
instant gratification.
At my age, I've never seen an armed robber, someone into drugs, someone who is into fraud, 419, Yahoo, or name it, that has done it for 10 years. Absolutely impossible. 10 years. Nobody. The law will cut up with you.
At some point. If not the law, repercussion, karma, everything.
No, it's just the law of nature. You'll be taken out. The cheetah is the fastest animal in the world. Its lifespan is only 7 years. Tortoise is the slowest. It can live over 300 years.
Yeah.
So for me, is a step at a time. We are only 60 years. It is the time for us to write our names, that when
Two
the history
books.
of this country is being written, they will say, oh, yes, Larry Ajayi passed through this place. Instead of complaining, okay, we are complaining. So what are you doing?
Mm,
You are an architect. What are you
mm,
doing with your brain? You are a
mm.
graphic designer. What are you doing? You know, you're a photographer. So what? You are a food vendor. You know, everybody it's not the problem of the president. It's not the problem of the governor or the regional leaders, you know,
It's a
because
collective thing.
it's a collective thing for everybody to do together. So by so doing, the country move forward. It's just like having a taxi driver that will cheat you, boom, boom, boom. You know, everything
Yeah.
just go around. But if everybody is working for the common good, then the
Mm,
society will be better. So
that is
at
amazing.
the end of the day, I have very strong hope about Nigeria. Nigeria is going to be great. I have no doubt about it. Maybe not in my lifetime,
Mm,
because some people died for me to be here. If all of us has been on this planet, there won't be space for everybody.
at all.
But let me do it for my children and for my children's children. That when they mention that I did that, oh, his father is not like that. It's not about
Yeah.
money.
Mm,
Money is absolutely irrelevant in the scheme of things, because
mm.
your name will open doors for you
Yeah.
than
It's
money.
about impact that you make with your life
Absolutely.
while you're here. That is amazing. This is still the global talkative series with our guest Dio Adedayo, photographer and visual artist. And our topic of discussion today is the sleeping giants, potential of a dying continent with a focus on Nigeria in Western Africa. And we have about 7 minutes more into this broadcast, and then I'm going to be asking you more questions. I'm going to be sharing with our audience some of your works. But before we go into that segment, what on the final words or final thoughts, what would you desire to, desire to see as a change, as an immediate change? What kind of change do you desire, to see in Africa as a whole, in your own estimation, in your own experience, someone who has traveled extensively, lived every part of the world? What kind of immediate change can we begin to see, or should we expect to see? Or do you think we can begin to see to give us that ray of hope that yes, something good? Because I know, including me, a lot of folks still want to come back to Nigeria because I believe so much there's a lot of potential in Nigeria. But what kind of things do we expect in your own view that yes, pointing to the future that yes, something good is on the horizon?
Okay. The easiest one that came to mind is the people aged 35 below in Nigeria are 65% of the population. So that means the future belongs to the younger generation.
Mm,
So my take is, what stops them from joining political party en masse? No Jupiter, nobody on earth will be able to stop them from choosing their own leaders with the mass numbers,
mm.
because it's not about money. It's
The game
numbers.
of
It's a numbers
numbers.
game.
Mm,
I don't form any new party because you don't have the structures. There is no way on earth you can get the structure that this main political, and this applies to all the nations, or I mean all the countries in Africa, because the youth population is massive. You have the technology behind you, you have the creativity behind you, you have the innovation behind you. Put those three together, join political party en masse, and say, okay, we are presenting Larry Ajayi as our president. You are going to vote for primaries now, and once they are voting in primaries, everybody comes because you are carrying members. It's no good you just going on social media and be ranting, because
mm.
what I see is ranting that cannot yield anything, because you are just in the cities. Those in the villages do not even know what you are doing, because one, they don't have access to all those things that you have access to. Then when
Mm.
election comes, you now be saying, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that. You know, to me, it doesn't
It's too
solve
late.
anything. What you need is mass participation in partisan politics. Without that, your future is bleak, because I've done my own. If I'm to be working in any mainstream industry, I've only got 4 years to my retirement.
Hmm, that is amazing. That is wonderful. Let's go to some of the images. Tell us about this image shown on the screen.
Yes, this is the Five Cowrie Lagoon, dividing Lekki, dividing Ikoyi and Victoria Island, and in the foreground is Lekki Peninsula. I took this during, I think it was during the dry season. Unfortunately, people do not even see Lagos water clean because they drive past it or walk past it all the time,
Mm.
but they only see the water when it is dirty. And it's part of our problem in Nigeria because we only see problems. We don't see anything good in ourselves. And people will say, oh, no, 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 this is Photoshop. This is a lot of people say this is Photoshop. So all I need to tell them is say, just wait till rainy season when there is no water coming in from all the drainages. Then the water is blue.
That's
Very clean,
amazing.
clear water.
Okay. We have another picture showing Ogun State, the Gateway State, a visual portrait.
Yes, this is one of my new books. This came out just last week. And this road is no different from the one in Wyoming, Highway to Heaven. It's a very straight road. And one of the roads built by the late Premier of Western Region, solid road, up to tomorrow. And during low cloud, the cloud will be as if it is touching the hill in front of you over there. Very beautiful road. That leads you to the Republic of Benin.
Now, to our viewers, our guest is also an author of books. So tell us about your journey into, writing books, being an author.
Um, that began for me to let the rest of the world see my country, because if I say I'm having exhibitions, only few people will be able to come to exhibitions. But
Yeah.
when you start putting it into books, it goes farther than what you can ever imagine, and that is what prompted me to go into publishing as well. And this is my latest work, Owe Yoruba, which is Yoruba proverbs and idioms, because in Yoruba land, when you are seated with the elders, they always talk in proverbs, and it's something that is dying out because we are conversing in English now. I doubt whether I'll be able to speak in Yoruba for 3 minutes without a word of English. And if I cannot do that, what happens to my children? What's going to happen to their children's children? And once the language is out, forget it. That's the end of culture, because there's so many things that we miss when we don't have our culture in place, and that is what prompted that Yoruba. It's the second edition of that, actually. The
That
first
is a
edition
means
before
of
that.
preserving our cultural heritage,
Absolutely, yes.
basically. So if our audiences, because I check your website and I see that there's some images, there available for sale. So is there a way they can reach out to you, or do you, let me say this, because most of the times people are always like, okay, at some point they want to know, oh, this figure, it's a role model. Do you have a kind of mentoring or advice, or how can people reach you, for questioning? Because I know they want to, oh, this is an amazing photographer. His work's amazing. I've seen the works myself. Do you have that kind of opportunity for people to mentor, to come to learn from you?
Oh yes, I'm very open. I'm not a public servant, but I pick up my calls. But I've got some. Yes, I do mentor a lot of young people. Some of them are doing fantastically well today, and my dream actually is for them to be a lot better than us. Because of what benefit is it? With all, it is in one brain, and one cannot put it down to the next generation. That means it's a wasted effort. And not just that, it will be a very thing of joy for me to see the younger ones doing much more better in any form than us. So that means we've laid a foundation, because the generation before us, actually, the generation before me, they haven't really done much.
Mm.
There is nothing, no one you can easily go to say, oh, this, that, because they see photographers as the dredge of the society.
Mm.
Nobody reckon with you. But I thank God for where I am. I thank God where the profession is today. And I'm thanking God for the future, that the younger ones are doing a lot better than us. And the future is bright. Nigeria is bright. May Nigeria succeed.
Thank you very much. Today, just about 9 seconds, we'll be going off Instagram, but we've come to the end of the show. I want to appreciate all those who have joined today. From South Africa, we have Ola Chris from South Africa, Tomi Ajayi, we have Olani Ola, we have Alabiarine Kon, we have Toyola Inka from United Kingdom, we have Shimaki Sami, Ria Montana, Omodibo from Malayo, we have Mrs. Badmos and all individuals. We have Andrea and all those who join from around the world, from Dubai, from China, from Nigeria, from Ghana. Thank you so much for taking time to be on this show today. We've gotten a lot of information, ideas, and I will encourage you to check out our guest website. It's displayed on the screen www.dioidio.com for an amazing pictures. If you need frames for your house, for your buildings, or for books, it's the right place to go to get all what you need. Thank you so much. And until we come again your way next time, it's bye for now. Thank you so much, sir, for coming to the show today. We appreciate you. Thank you. Bye for
Thank
now.
you. Thank